so when Joe Douglas was talking about Derek Carr, did you happen to volunteer to Douglas or anybody else around you that you have been a little disrespectful to Derek Carr? And that if you see Carr, if you see him, hey, it might be a misunderstanding. You know what? He might show hands. I know Derek.
I have not been that bad. I have not been bad.
You've been terrible. You've been terrible.
Just because, okay, two things. Just because I said somebody is not elite, okay, I didn't say he was bad.
Okay,
I didn't say I ain't been talking about him like I talk about Carson Wentz. I just said he was fine. And listen, maybe he is underrated. He's only had the worst defense and special teams throughout his entire tenure with the Raiders. So maybe I am underrating him, but I wouldn't say I was disrespecting him. That's one. Two, okay, sorry I said that if he goes and wins in New York, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, the way that they reportedly said to him. And if that's the case, then go sign him right now. What are you waiting on? Give him whatever he wants to get this process over with. But no, have I been harsh on Derek Carr? Seriously?
Yeah, you have. And you know, it's funny how the retelling, you know, I can tell. The retelling always is a little different than in the moment. So in the retelling, it's like, hey, you know, I'm sorry to say you were elite. Yeah. No, you know, he said he's not a good dude. He's not a good quarterback. That's what you said.
I didn't say he wasn't good. I did not say that's not a quote. That's a misquote.
That is a quote.
You've been a journalist far too long to be I did not say he wasn't good. I said there's a middle ground between great and bad, and he's in the middle. I didn't say he wasn't good.
No, I think we had a whole exercise.
I said he's fine.
Do you remember this?
Fine. He's fine. Okay, maybe fine isn't good. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, whatever. What's your point? Is this about me or is this about him?
No,
like, let's not make this about me.
It's both.
Let's not make this about me.
I'm gonna make it about you. It's a contrast.
I'm on the road. Get something for NBC's money. NBC's money. I'm on the road. Ask me something about them. It's about the players.
I want something for the money. I want to see a little confrontation. I want to get my popcorn. You know it's my favorite snack. I want to get my popcorn. I want to see you and Derek Carr.
Because you know when I see him, dog, what's happening? What's good? What's up with you, dog?
Hey,
good to see you, bro.
Hey, do this
I ain't seen you since Tahoe, bro. I ain't seen you since, bro. You're the official quarterback and brother from another. You know we put on for you, right? You know we put on for you, right? You know we show you love. You know we show you love. Raiders did you dirty.
You gotta give him.
Raiders did you dirty.
You gotta give him the big embrace. Give him the big embrace and be like,
show me some love, show me some love. Show me some love.
I haven't seen you. It was Tahoe, right? Yeah, it was Tahoe back in 21. Yeah, man. What's up? Hey, man, I'm just looking. Hey, you do your thing, man. You do your thing. It's gonna work out for you. It's gonna work out for you.
Come announce your destination on the show.
Let's connect.
Come holler.
Let's connect.
Yeah.
Let me get your. I got your number. Am I up to your number? But I will say this about Derek Carr. You might have his number. You probably do. Look, I think we're going to see from Derek Carr, and that now I know you're not going to agree with this, but I think it's similar. If Derek Carr goes to the right situation, and maybe New York is exactly that. I think we'll see from Derek Carr what we saw from your guy. It's funny how things change. Matt Stafford, when he went from Detroit, losing situation and became identified with the losing situation. He goes to the Rams, and oh wow, look at this! Look what a really good quarterback can do for you.
No,
I know he was hurt last year. We're not talking about Matthew Stafford, but Stafford was not getting a lot of, not from the outside world. I guess people who knew, the insiders, were always high on Matthew Stafford, but from the fan base. Outside of Detroit, numbers guy. He's all right.
The tables have turned. The tables have turned.
And never won a playoff game, right?
Number one overall pick.
And never won a playoff game?
Had never won a playoff game. Right.
Never won a playoff game, just like Derek Carr.
Right. No, the shoe's on the other foot and the tables have turned. You're right about that, because I was a staunch defender of Matthew Stafford. So I guess Carr is your Stafford. And I think I should know better. And I do know better. All jokes aside, in all seriousness, I have meant no disrespect toward Derek Carr. I just called it like I see it. And what I don't see is an upper echelon quarterback. That doesn't mean he can't win. That doesn't mean he's not worth the trouble. That doesn't mean that his career has been held back by his circumstances and his surroundings, like most quarterbacks are. Look, I mean, I've always hated the phrase system quarterbacks because they're all products of their system. Some make this system, but there's still nothing apart from the system. Like Joe Montana and Steve Young were system quarterbacks. They were in a system in San Francisco that surrounded them with talent. Not just system as like, oh, they're only limited to these throws or this type of playbook or what have you.
Yeah.
It's that Brady was a system quarterback. That is not a slur. That is not a slight. As I mentioned earlier, in Oakland and Las Vegas, Derek Carr has never had a great defense. He's never had great special teams. Sound familiar? He's had a running game here and there.
And a bunch of head coaches too. A
lot of turmoil,
coordinators.
a lot of turnover, a lot of inconsistency. And so, yeah, if he goes to the right situation, he could win in a way that he's never won before. And maybe people like me will look at him differently.
Let me ask you this. And I know I just gave you an example of the Rams.
It's a great example.
Really, like I'd say two of the last three Super Bowl champions have had this profile. They go into the offseason thinking they're a quarterback away. They get their quarterback and they win the championship. So that's what happened with the 21 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or 20 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
2021.
Happened the next year.
Yeah.
Happened the next year with the Rams, and then this year, Patrick Mahomes. No quarterback replacement there. He's just the man.
Right.
But I think those rare situations, and it's still rare, have kind of skewed the conversation and it's going to lead to a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of people who are going to say, what happened to us? It's not that easy. Most franchises think they're a quarterback away, and they're not. The Broncos thought they were a quarterback away with Russell Wilson, and maybe they were a quarterback away, but just not him. But they thought last year, let's just get our quarterback, we'll win a championship. Or we'll be a contender.
I was about to say, at least playoffs. Like, if you're the Jets, you just need to get to the playoffs. That's what you need to be thinking is playoffs, less than championship.
The Jets,
right now.
give them credit. Give them credit. The Jets are saying it with their chest. They're putting some bass in it. But they're a little presumptuous. Like, hey, wait a minute. Weren't they like 7-10? Were they 8-9, 7-10, something like that?
But with awful, for the most part, quarterback play. The Jets aren't the Rams. The Jets aren't the Rams because, as you often pointed out, the Rams had a guy that they'd gone to the Super Bowl with in Jared Goff.
Right.
So it's not like they hadn't succeeded with the quarterback that they had, but there just was another level for them to go to. Whereas the Jets, they ain't sniffed the playoffs in, I think, 9 years. I think they have the longest active drought for the postseason. And so you look at that defense and that running game, they are a quarterback away from being a playoff team. A championship team,
are they?
That's elite.
Are they?
No, I think so. Yes, I think they're competent and capable quarterback play away from making the playoffs. Yeah, I would say so. With the rest of that roster, I would say so.
Yeah, I think
championship is different. Like especially in the AFC. Now there's a different level when you talk about the Chiefs and the Bills who are replacing the defensive coordinator.
Can I go down your street?
But they're go ahead.
I'm gonna drive down your street here for a second. I think teams like the Jets. So what I mean is teams, non-playoff teams, who think they're a quarterback away from making the playoffs, often come off as fantasy football-ish, dynasty league-ish, as if. Okay, can we play this game? So if you have a good quarterback, you're just suddenly going to win the games that you lost? Are you going to win half of those games? Are you going to win 60% of those games? How's that math work? And does that really match up with what happened during the season? So if you have a good quarterback, you beat the Patriots, in New England when Marcus Jones had the punt return?
There's no guarantees.
Which games do you win? That's what I'm saying.
There's no guarantees, but I'm saying,
I don't like that game. I don't like that.
But when you're the Jets and you suffered through Zach Wilson and at times Joe Flacco, who was better than Zach Wilson, Mike White couldn't stay healthy. If Mike White would have been healthy, they probably are in the playoffs last year as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of Jets fans would agree with that. I think the Jets would agree with that. He couldn't stay healthy. I think just Derek Carr level quarterback play, to bring it full circle. gets that team into the playoffs. The Rams were aiming for the Super Bowl. The Bucs were getting the greatest quarterback of all time. So I don't think that they're on that trajectory, at least not yet. But if I'm the Jets, here's the thing about the Jets is, and I said this the other day, I don't want the Aaron Rodgers headache. And I certainly don't want it for 1 year. What I do appreciate about Derek Carr taking his time and making a deliberate decision is, and we talked about this yesterday with Charles Robinson, is if you're Derek Carr, you're just changing teams for the first time in your career, which is more than a lot of quarterbacks can say, a lot of players can say. You want to be deliberate. You want to make the right decision. You don't want to make a quick decision. So I get that. Although he has a head start, so I wouldn't pump the brakes too much. I wouldn't slow play this too much. I mean, he's meeting people at the combine. You know, he's already he's already visited a couple of teams. He's doing his due diligence the same way they're doing their due diligence, and where teams do it all the time. So I get it. But if I'm the Jets, though, and you really think that highly of Carr, that you're selling the idea of no, not you, the Jets. The Jets.
Okay, the Jets do.
Because it's two parts.
Yeah.
The Jets are saying if you win here, you know, you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So they're saying, it's, you know, New York, there's no place like it. The Jets are starved for a winner, haven't won since Namath, yada, 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 right? But they're also saying that your career to this point has been impressive enough to where all you're missing is a championship in New York to get you into the Hall of Fame, and not just the Hall of Fame, period, but in on the first ballot. The guy that won 2 Super Bowls across town ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer. All right? He's a great broadcaster, but he ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. So they're telling him that you've been so good in Las Vegas and in Oakland that you are a championship with the New York Jets away from being a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's why I keep laughing at that. So if they think that highly of Derek Carr, I would be bending over backwards to get Derek Carr as opposed to Aaron Rodgers, because Rodgers, you don't know what you're getting from year to year. Well, you don't know what you're getting in the offseason with Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers guaranteed? Like, it's part of the plan with Aaron Rodgers if you're the Jets that he's going to show up. Put it this way, Brian Gutekunst, we played the Joe Douglas sound. Brian Gutekunst at one of these same podiums earlier saying, I ain't even talked to Aaron Rodgers yet. We ain't even had these discussions yet. So, they've exchanged some texts, but they ain't even got into the nitty-gritty. So Aaron Rodgers has gone on this darkness retreat, emerged from this darkness retreat, seen his own shadow, and ain't even started the process of working through the process. They ain't even got to that point yet. If you're the Jets, is that who you really want to be in bed with? Do you really want to say, like, let's trade for Aaron Rodgers, pay him whatever he wants to get paid, which is probably more than Derek Carr, I'm guessing, going on a limb and guessing that. Pay him what he wants to get paid. Is he going to be there all offseason working with Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore and whoever else? And then next offseason, are you in the same boat with will he or won't he? I just wouldn't want them problems. So to land this plane, as much as I've tried to pump the brakes on how great Derek Carr is, if I'm the Jets, I'd much rather whatever Derek Carr is than whatever we think Aaron Rodgers could be, because I don't think the downside of Aaron Rodgers is worth it.
Well, I would say this, Mike. If you keep saying that the Jets believe that Derek Carr will be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he wins with them. First championship since Super Bowl III. Okay, different era. Before the merger. They haven't won a Super Bowl since before the merger. It's been a long time in New York. They haven't appeared in a Super Bowl since they won Super Bowl III. So, look, if they feel that way about Derek Carr, then I'm gonna go in a different direction. If you think that about Derek Carr, what do you think about the upgrade?
Well, he's already a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's also a first ballot Hall of Fame headache.
So,
you know how I feel about Rodgers.
But a lot of those guys are. A lot of those guys, not all of them, but a lot of them are. Tom Brady was a headache. Tom Brady was high maintenance, but his high maintenance helped Tampa break its own drought. Yeah, but
his high maintenance was different
before he got there.
But his high maintenance was different before this year, before his personal life fell apart, and before he was doing things. And I ripped him for this, like going to Robert Kraft's wedding, before the game. Like, you could never question whether Tom Brady was going to show up to work and be in the building and do everything possible to get on the same page with his teammates and his receivers.
Aaron Rodgers will do that. He'll do that in New York.
He hasn't done it in Green Bay. lately.
Yeah, he's showing out. He's showing out in Green Bay. You know, he just wants to, it's a tantrum. It's an adult temper tantrum.
So what happens when the honeymoon period is over in New York after a year?
He'll retire. He'll retire.
Oh, but I don't want a one-year guy. If I'm New York and I got this young defense and this young running back, I don't want it for 1 year but Michael, but that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the quick fix. You're talking about insert quarterback here and win a Super Bowl. I don't want that if I'm New York. I want to build for the long term for once. They already went down this road with Brett Favre. I don't want another instant coffee. Robert Saleh talked about we're in an instant coffee day and age when it comes to Zach Wilson. He invoked the instant coffee analogy. This is the most instant coffee move they can make in New York.
How old is Robert Saleh? Instant coffee. What the hell is that reference, Robert? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Nobody knows. Anyway, they do want that. Because when you look at the veteran quarterback market, you want that. You sure do. You ain't building for the long term veteran quarterback.
But stop acting like I've been trashing Derek Carr. People are going to really start to believe that. Like I have been fair. My job is to be fair, not nice.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.